This is Sisters Ashley and Angela.
And this is Sister Rooy. Today, Ace and I played doctor for not even kidding, 4 to 5 hours straight.
Dang.
So I was feeding Sam, and he was just so creative with it. I was just mind-blowing, impressed with him all day. And so it all began, I was with Sam, and I was feeding him in his room. And Ace just walks in and just goes, "You play doctor while you feed Sam?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure. Bring it on." So he comes back with a doctor kit, as one does. And he's just like, "What'd you do? What happened?" I was like, well, I was riding my bike outside and I hit a rock. And he's like, "Well, what kind of rock? Big? Small?" And I was like,
Details.
It was a small pebble of a rock, and I still fell over it with my bike, hit it just right, and I messed up my ankle.
Oh, dang.
And he just looks at me and he's like, "This ankle?" Points to my right. I'm like, "Yes, that ankle." And he goes, "Okay, I fix it." I'm like, "Okay." But then he runs away. And then I hear him trying to tell our Alexa to turn on our loft lights. And so he's just yelling at it and it's not working. So finally I just do it from my phone. I'm like, "I thought we were playing doctor. What is happening?" And this kid comes back and he shows me one of his little Etch-a-Sketch things that I guess it's not an Etch-a-Sketch. It's like a magnetic pen stylus board
yes.
with a doodle thing. And it's a mini one.
Yeah.
Like
Size of your hand.
Yeah, like bigger than a note card, but smaller than an Etch-a-Sketch. And he just shows it to me. He's like, "Got it." I'm like, "What are we doing with that?" And he's like, "It's X-ray time." And I was like, "Oh."
X-ray time.
And he continues.
I was like, "It's your treatment plan?"
He continues to lay or sit next to my ankle, my foot. He puts it on it and is just like drawing bones and stuff. And I just showed Angela a photo of it because I was like, "Where did you learn to do this with
and
this?"
about X-rays.
Well, he's had an X-ray.
Okay. So
And there's X-rays in books, especially with like ABC books. Like people can't come up with anything besides an X-ray and a xylophone.
Okay.
And so he had done that. And I was just so impressed with him. And he was just like, "Okay, X-ray done. This is what's happened." I was like, "What does that mean?" And he says, "No problem. I'll fix it." And he continued to do whatever he did, doctor me up, and I was done and whatever. He went to one of my cats, and he doctored her up. Doctored up Girly. Something was wrong with her in the room. And I'm like still feeding Sam, whatever. He comes back to me, and he goes, What else? What else hurts, Mama?" I was like, "Oh, well, I hurt my hand when I was doing an obstacle course." Because he was like, "How'd you hurt yourself upstairs?" I was like, "Oh, well, I guess I was doing an obstacle course and I hurt my hand." So he does the same thing. He puts the thing on top of my hand and he like draws stuff on it and whatever. But then he continued to lecture me as a doctor of what not to do during an obstacle course. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Okay, cool. Got it. Won't do that again." But it's just, this went on. And eventually we went downstairs and he continued doctoring me up while we just played doctor. And then he would take a turn as a doctor. At one point, I was a patient.
Or you mean as a patient?
Oh, yeah, sorry. At one point, he was the patient. I was Dr. Mama. And then we were switching roles. Sam was now awake and he was in his like little playmat thing. And, Ace is like, "What happened this time?" And I was like, "Well, I've been waiting for the doctor. I have a stomach ache." And he's like, "Oh, I have other patients." I was like, "Oh, I am so sorry. I did not know that you were treating other people." And he just goes up to Sam and he's like, "Sam, what happened?" And he like tickled him and Sam's giggling. I was like, this was the cutest moment of my life.
I was going to say, did he play with Sam as the patient Did you guys recently go to the doctor with Sam where Ace was
I mean,
there?
I went to his 6-month checkup, I guess, but that was a month ago almost at this point.
Just a few weeks ago.
I know he played doctor with his stuffed animal with his babysitter yesterday, but I don't know. But he had. So the funny thing is, it's, I guess, not the first time he's done the Etch-a-Sketch thing. I forgot about another time where he did it as an ultrasound on my stomach, and he made it seem like an x-ray, and he was drawing on my stomach. I totally forgot about this. And he drew on it and was like, "Mama, you have babies." And I was like, "I do?" Plural? And he was like, "Yeah, 2." I was like, "Those are called twins."
Fun.
And I did not tell Justin about that story that day. And so Ace really kept up the bit the rest of the day. We went to Publix, we got groceries, we had come back, and he was like, "Babies come with." And I'm like, "I mean, if they're in my belly, they're coming with." And at dinner that night, he just looked at me and he's like, "Mama, how are the babies doing in your tummy?" And Justin was like, "I'm sorry, what?" And I was like, "Oh,
too funny."
right." We were playing that, and I forgot that he did it as an ultrasound too. But yeah, he was so clever today, and I just couldn't even believe it. So when he was the patient, he, like I said, this went on forever, so I'm sorry I have like back-to-back stories, but he was like, "I'm going to get on my bike, but I'm not going to put on my helmet." And he gave me this little smirk like, "This is going to be a head injury." I was like, "Okay, see you later. Be safe." And he rides his bike around the house, comes back, and does a fake fall off his bike and fake hits his head on the tile. And he's like, "Oh no, hurt my head. I gotta go to doctor." And he came and he's like, "Doctor,
Oh my gosh.
I hit my head."
Was he in slow-mo, fake falling?
No, he definitely did like a slow motion to like fall down. But yeah, I mean, he didn't like actually whack his head or anything, but it was just funny that he was like, I'm not gonna put my helmet on because this is what it's gonna be. As the doctor, I was like, "You should wear a helmet next time so you don't get these stitches." And he went back and he was like, "Mama, doctor told me to put on the helmet." And I was like, "That sounds like a really great idea." And then he put on the helmet and rode his bike some more.
Wow. Good for him. Who knows?
It was so cute.
Dr. Ace.
Yeah. Dr. Ace and Dr. Mama.
That's cute. Emma recently I've noticed that she's just been actually having full-on conversations with us now. Like, it's just super fun.
It just like happens out of nowhere. And
Yeah.
you're just like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's funny because Jake left on a work trip and Zach started crawling.
Oh, yeah.
And then Emma just started saying these sentences. And one thing that really threw me, I don't know what I did. I don't know if I dropped something, if I ran into something that stubbed my toe somehow. I don't know. But Emma's response was immediately, "You okay, Mama?" And I was like, "Yes, thank you." But I was not expecting the quick, "You okay?"
Like
because I'll always say to her,
instinctual gut response, yeah.
yeah, and I'll ask her many times, "You okay, Emma?" And I'm just like, wow, it was just instant for her. And earlier today, Jake actually hurt his back somehow. We don't know how, but he can't move and pick up things without being in obvious pain.
He's an old man.
He's
the youngest of all of us, but he's an old man.
He did say that he felt so old because of what happened, and that he actually had that comment. That's funny. But anyway, I was finishing something with Emma in the kitchen. She was eating something.
Dinner.
And I put her on the floor after cleaning her up. And I say, "You should go give Dad a hug and ask him if he's okay." And Jake is laying down on the couch in our TV room. Not even watching TV. He's just laying there.
Face down.
No, he's on his back.
Oh, okay.
Staring up at the ceiling. Just kind of laying there. And
I was just thinking his back hurt. I was picturing him just like hating life with his face into the cushions.
And Emma just walks in there, gives him a hug and a kiss. And it's like, what happened, Daddy? That was not what I asked her to say.
Yeah.
But she just began to be concerned and was like, what happened, Daddy? And Jake is like, I don't know. But then Emma is an empath. She feels feelings. She got concerned. And I'm joking, like, Dad's broken. And Jake's like, don't say that. And anyway, Emma's just like, Dad hurt his back. And she's just saying all these things just like matter of fact.
Yeah.
And just full on sentence. And
it just happens overnight.
Yeah. And it's honestly the questions that get me, because you just start hearing what she's processing in her mind. And she's like, can you hold Elsa? Like her new doll? Like, can you hold Elsa? And she's starting to say, you know, unprompted, the thank yous and stuff. Or if I sneezed, and she's just like, bless you, Mommy. And I'm like, thank you.
The
like,
unprompted stuff's good.
It's just really getting to me, all the feels. Straight to the heart. Love these kids and their questions and their imaginations.
Yeah, Ace will accidentally run into a cat or something. And sometimes he's purposefully running into cats. But the times that there are accidents, he'll just be like, sorry, Ted. And keep going. I'm just okay, well, good job.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying. So bedtime has gotten a lot better with Ace, where we used to have to like lay with him, guys, until he fell asleep and then sneak out. And luckily, we've gotten to a point where he kind of just does his own thing and puts himself to sleep eventually. He still does a little bit of dilly-dallying and procrastination, as kids do, but there comes to a point where he's like, okay, I have gotten everything I need and I will eventually go to bed. But sometimes he'll be like, can I have cuddles for like, and he'll give me a number. He doesn't know what they actually mean on his hand. Sometimes 4 minutes to a kid, that can be 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I will give you 2 minutes of cuddles and then I'm out. And then he'll be like, 4. I'm like, fine, I'll give you 4 minutes. But yeah, we went and played games with friends the other night, and I came home in time to put him to bed, and I asked if he had fun with his babysitter. He said yes, and I just like super enjoy those conversations with him at night. And now with him having those questions, and you can see his thoughts, and it's so fun. So yeah, I was like, you had fun with your babysitter. What did you do with her? And he would tell us. I was like, what was your favorite thing? And he'll go, well, we went on the trampoline a little bit and played doctor with Kitty, his stuffed animal. And then he's like, where did you and Dad go? I was like, oh, well, we went to our friends. And he goes, which friends? And I say their names, and he goes, well, what were you doing with them? And I was like, oh, well, we were playing games. And he said, oh, well, what games did you play? It's just like he can carry a conversation. I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, well, we played this camel game called Camel Up. And he goes, well, how do you play that? And I was like, well, it's camels racing. It's like
an odd game, but I loved it.
It's like a horse racing game, but for camels. And he's like, And he's like, well, what else? What other games did you play? And I was like, well, we played Skull King. He's like, well, what's that? I'm like, that's a card game. So, yeah, it's just crazy that you can have just these little conversations with them now.
It is. And
It's the best.
And Emma's now, too, at an age where she's just identifying her emotions. And right now it's when she is sad or upset, she's always like, Emma was upset.
She always says it after the fact, or does she ever say it in the moment?
She has not started to say it in the moment where I'm trying to, like, talk her through. Because we also haven't had... I mean, we have been having babysitters, you know, watch Emma and Zach more frequently. Still not super often, but enough where Emma, when we're leaving, she is very upset when she knows we are both leaving.
Ah, okay.
And it really gets...
that stage, so she'll be like, I was sad when you and Dad left.
Yeah, so it's after when I see her in the morning, and she's just like... Emma was upset.
It's funny that
sometimes she says the I. She's like starting to almost get there, I think. But she's like, Emma was upset. Needed mommy. Mommy left. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh, she's really
dagger to
me.
the heart.
I know. She has definitely identified when she is upset and what calms her down. But it's getting to me. I need this face to...
Ace, when he was at that age, would say, I was big sad. And if he was like really upset.
Yeah, she used to say big, but I don't know. She hasn't really said that often or recently. She used to say that. I don't think she's really said big sad anymore. She's just like, I was upset. So anyway, and now too, when Jake comes home, so Jake got a new job where he has to go into the office, and he used to work at home a lot. And now Emma sees us hugging more because Jake will come home and we'll hug and all of this stuff.
Cute.
Yes, but when Emma sees us hugging, she always thinks someone's upset.
Oh, no.
So she's just like, Mama upset. I was like, no, we're happy. Like,
you can have happy hugs.
Yeah, so we're also just demonstrating to her that just because we're hugging, it does not mean someone's upset. So anyway,
that's funny.
Yeah, kids.
Yeah.
Funny.
Angela always makes fun of me and Justin because we have a 2-story house. And anytime, because Justin works at home most of the time, like he'll do work trips and whatever, but when he's at home, I guess it's like similar. You just don't really think about hugging them high or whatever. So, sometimes you just need a hug.
Yeah.
And so we have a 2-story house, which has stairs, obviously. And Justin and I we have this thing where we look at each other and we're just like, stare hug. And Angela used to hear us say this, and she would watch us go to our stairs. And she was just like, always kind of looking at what we would do, and it's because Justin's taller than me that I go up on one stair and then I'm just at an appropriate good height to have a good hug. And Angela was like worried that we were just staring into each other's eyes.
Yeah, when did I hear that first? Because when I heard stair hug, I did not think the stairs.
You just thought we were like looking deep into each other's eyes, staring with them.
Gaze. Yeah, that, I'm glad, is
an actual
staircase hug. It's really what it is.
It's just funny because ever since you told me that misunderstanding, Justin and I will now go to the stairs and we'll stare at each other for a second, and then we'll be like, okay, no, but for real, where's our hug?
Yeah, good old stair hug.
But yeah, anyway, when we do those, sometimes Ace will join in and hug our legs, and it's really cute.
Oh, yeah. Emma does come in for some hugs when she's... So, on some of the hugs, when it is Mom is upset, Jake will say, Emma, Mommy needs a hug. And so she will go in for a group hug. And it's really cute if Jake is holding Zach, too, and there is a
group hug,
literal family hug in our kitchen. It's usually always in the kitchen.
Sam is just always sleeping.
Yeah.
That sleepy boy.
Yeah. But I love the hugs.
Yeah.
Emma gives good hugs, too.
Well, it's probably because she's an empath. Ace,
Maybe.
I would, like... I don't know if it's Emma is going to be, like, too much of an empath that it's like, girl, hold it together for someone else. But, like, Ace is the complete opposite, where I'll be, like, crying, and he just looks at me like, what's wrong with you? But, like, doesn't care. And there will be a time when I'm like, I don't feel good today, like, and he'll give me a hug and kiss. But then he just goes back to, I don't even know, hitting me on the knee to be a doctor patient, whatever it might be. And I'm just like, can I have a happy medium? I want a little bit of empathy.
I'll have to ask Mater if she remembers, though, how we were as kids. Because I'm a very much empathetic person. But I don't know when I really became that or felt that I was.
I just know that you got upset for our brothers looking at you once.
Well,
so you're an emotional person, which carries true to today.
Which I have found out, though, at least, like, for other adolescent girls, that's not completely crazy.
Out of the norm.
Yeah. The fact that this happened with one of our family members, like, as a 13-year-old, or how old is she? 11? 11-year-old, our niece. You know, like similar stuff has happened.
Is she 11?
I don't know.
Anyway.
So I'm around that age, you know, that happened.
Yeah, okay.
And so Jason's like, he's brought it up before where I'm like, okay, it just definitely wasn't out of the norm.
Yeah.
But that wasn't an empath. That was me dealing with, for some reason, being stared at by brothers.
I said emotional.
Yeah. I'm just, because right now I'm just thinking as Emma's mother, I know she just feels feelings and it has concern for others and it impacts her.
Yeah. It had to have been the last time I saw her, which was when we went swimming the other day. But she did something, or someone, I can't remember what it was, but I saw that bottom lip, and I was like, don't you do it. You're fine. We're all fine. It's fine.
When it starts
I was like, I'm not making eye contact with you. Then
No.
30 seconds later, I did like a little side eye to check, and she held it together, but I was like, don't you start. I don't know what it was. I can't remember.
I mean, I said something the other day to her about Stella. What did I say to her? She kind of like jokingly said she was going to jump on Stella. Something like that. And I just went into, no, we don't jump on dogs. It could hurt her. Like, it could make her upset. And she actually stood there and started getting sad about it. And I was like, was it something I said about Stella that made you sad? And she was like, mm-hmm.
Was it because you just said no, or that it would just hurt her?
Yeah, I think I must have said it more forcefully, like, no, do not do that, and explained what would happen to Stella if she jumped on her.
Yeah, see, this is where I would wish that there was a little bit of something for Ace, because he'd just be like, I'm going to test it anyway and see what you do, and then he'd get on that dog. Which then I'd be like, well, that is my child, because unfortunately I rode. Unfortunately, as a child, I thought it was a good idea to ride one of my friend's Dobermans, and her mom got upset with me for very good reason.
Yep.
And I ended up bought this dog a bone and treats and everything. Mom made me apologize. And, I never sat on a dog again. But yeah, I would look at Ace and be like, yep, that's my child. But like, no, we don't do that. But again, he is so mean with the cats. And I'm like, gentle dude.
No, I just couldn't believe what I said impacted Emma. And I kind of like, I must have scolded her to be like, no, we don't do that. And she
heard it
stood
in your voice.
there. And I start looking at something. I've moved on, but I'm on the couch, I think, with Zach, about to feed him or something. And I see that she's standing there with her sad face. And I'm like, oh no. Like, was it because I said that about Stella? And she says that. And then I'm like, do you want a hug? And like, she's already had a tear well up, and I'm just like, yes, come here. And she's like, mm-hmm. Like, she wants a hug. So yeah, I've created an empath, and she might be more empathetic than me.
My child over here is just not scared of mean mama anymore. Justin will try to be like, mean mama is coming, like, if you're not gonna listen. And he's just like, is she? I'll test it. That child. I really am excited to see how Zach is.
I am too.
Let me tell you, him as the little crawler, he was just rolling all around my floor the other day. I was like, dude, you could not sit still.
No, he cannot.
He is going to be a climber.
He's already starting to, like, grab things. The little tiny table for kids in my kitchen.
Yeah.
And the chairs. I set him up to just crawl around in the kitchen while I was making dinner, and he's moving around, and all of a sudden I see that he has positioned himself near the kid chair, and I start looking at him. I'm like, are you going to do it?
Like, pull himself up?
Yep. And he has grabbed the chair, and I have to monitor him at this point because the chair it is not secure. He'll fall over. You know that. So I'm monitoring him, and I see that he has lifted his leg up a little bit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this kid is going to be crawling onto things in like a month. And the chair's moved, 2 feet from where it started because he's pushing and pulling.
Yeah, dude, I could not, because Sam just sits so still. And then Zach, I held him, and he's just doing 360s in my lap on the floor. And
He wants to look at everything.
I can't wait to see their personalities. But the neighbors at our rental property, they also have a 9-month-old. So they have a 5-year-old and a 9-month-old. And we were just checking out our rental property because we're getting ready to sell it. And so we were talking to the neighbors that have been there since we were there, since we lived there before. And she said that her 9-month-old is already walking. I'm just like,
dang.
I hear it happens quicker with the second, but
I know.
My Sam is just a little
no
preemie
doubt.
baby. So I'm just like, it'll happen whatever. But I'm excited to see their personalities and all of their things that they do. It's gonna be so fun.
I know. I can't wait either. It's like I know he's going to get into more things more quickly, being young and developing the movement faster. But yeah, can't wait at the same time. Cautiously fearful.
So speaking of our kids, that brings me into a random question that I thought to ask you. I can't remember why.
Oh, lovely.
But I wanted to ask you the question because you're my sister.
Love it. Random question. Go.
Would you, if I needed it, give me a kidney?
I think so.
You actually took longer to think about it than I thought you would.
Well, my gut was like, yeah, duh, but then I'm just like, I mean,
I also can't remember what it is that you need to match to be a match. Is it blood type to be a match?
Maybe blood
because
type,
if it is
in
blood
which
type,
case,
you can't.
Then yeah, I totally would if I could.
I don't know
what
why
do you need?
Yeah, I can't remember why, but I was like, I'm going to ask Angela if she would give me a kidney. Would you give Jason or Jeremy a kidney?
I mean,
would you give anybody a kidney in the family? Immediate family?
I feel like I would, especially if it is some kind of rare match. Like, I don't... It is a hard recovery, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know anything about it, really. Other than what I've seen in Grey's
All
Anatomy.
I know is you need at least one to function.
Yeah.
So,
what would be some of the repercussions other than the healing process? That
if you were to ever need a kidney, man.
Or if if I was the one to give a kidney, or you were one to give a kidney, what else? How would it impact life outside of the healing process? Like, if the doc told me I couldn't drink or whatever, I would be like, not that big of a deal.
That would be a liver.
A liver. Yeah. Kidney. Why am I thinking?
Kidneys just filter out your pee.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably do way more than that, which is why you need a functioning one. I don't know much about a kidney. All I know is that you need one and that it's a thing that needs to be matched.
This may make me go down a rabbit hole just to see.
what involves a kidney transplant?
What would be the consequences once I go down to one kidney if you were really dying?
Thanks.
I mean, would you give me your kidney?
Yeah, I'd give you a kidney.
Yeah, okay.
Would you have given me a kidney 8 years ago?
8 years ago.
When we weren't really talking.
I mean, I feel like family, like, I would still seriously consider all things to probably do it. Yeah.
What if you had given me a kidney in middle school to survive, or high school or whatever, and then we went through our time of not talking? Would you have been like, I gave that girl a kidney?
I don't know, man. I don't think I would be...
Would you be bitter about it? Because you hold grudges.
I think it just depends how much of a true consequence it would impact me.
Let's say there's no consequences.
Then...
But we're not talking.
And I'm like, man, I gave her a kidney. I don't know.
If I had given you a kidney and we didn't talk, I might have held a grudge over you. Until
if anything, it would just have made me sadder. Because I was sad that we didn't talk.
I mean, same. But you were the one that had done most of the needing to come and talk to me and have the heart-to-heart or whatever.
Yeah, so
I think I would have definitely held a grudge over you had I given you a kidney in high school and then we didn't talk for however long it was.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be upset.
I don't think we've mentioned it. We had a time in our life where we talked, but we weren't like sisterly banter. We just weren't ourselves like how we are on the pod.
Yeah.
Or if you're hanging out with us in real life.
Yeah.
Because people think we're annoying sometimes. With
who?
Yeah.
What people think we're annoying?
Probably our husbands.
That would be really the only people because...
They live with us.
But I don't know if it's really annoyance versus like they just love us because we're truly ridiculous.
Can't believe our sisterliness.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that sisterliness for like 6 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
5 years. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. But it's like, I mean, when I was going through a breakup or whatever, like, I still ended up calling you, and...
Heck yeah, you did, and you were crying, and I was like...
You're like, hold up! Haven't talked to her in years.
Literally, I got this video call.
And you're like, something is wrong.
Got a video call, and was like, Angela's video calling me. This is weird. And then I answered it. I remember I was next to my stairs, and I saw your face, which was crying or like on the verge of tears. And I was like, my heart dropped and I immediately wanted to cry. And I was like, crap. And I just like shot upstairs to the bedroom and I texted Justin and I was like, something happened. I don't know what.
Talk about sisterly empathy.
Yeah.
Just immediate.
If you cry, I would definitely cry.
Yeah.
Or if you're crying, I try, depending on what it's about, I'll have to like really try to not cry.
So maybe if we had given each other a kidney, hey, you know what? Because we would have been literally a part of each other in some weird way. The whatever years of what that was, the gap of...
The void.
Yeah. It would have been shorter. Less of a grudge because we'd be like, yo,
you gave me a kidney.
We can get over this.
Your organ is inside of me. Maybe. See, this was fun.
Yeah, it brings it full circle because we started this off with Dr. Ace.
Yeah.
And
brought it back to a procedure.
And Emma, empath.
Maybe.
Empath Emma.
Yeah.
And down to a very, actually kind of deep revelation to some of our listeners who didn't know that we didn't talk, and we talked about giving each other's kidneys and still talked about sister empathy and doctor stuff. So
totally. That was a great sum up of the conversation.
The most random type of conversation you could have ever had that we had made connections.
Yeah, I just know not a lot of people like the what if games, and I am all here for the what if games.
I am so about what if games.
I just remember asking Mom questions about what if this happened or what if that happened, and she's like, but it didn't.
I know.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not like that, Mom. I want to know what would have happened.
Yeah, my brain just goes into crazy scenarios. I know that's how I bonded with Jake right off the bat, of just like hypotheticals. I'm sure that's how you probably were with Justin, asking him just ridiculous questions that...
I still ask him ridiculous questions.
Yeah, I still do. Like, even just the open-ended questions of, like, when we were at our game day.
Yeah.
Yesterday. And our friend had asked what we are excited about coming up for the week.
Oh, such a good question.
And remember, so he had asked it first to us.
He asked it to you.
the whole group or to me?
He asked it to you because then I answered and he said, I don't remember asking you.
I don't remember that. But I got so excited, and he was shocked about how excited I was about it.
Yeah.
And Jake was like, she loves these questions. And that wasn't really a hypothetical, but it was just so open-ended and made me think, what is about to happen this week that I have no idea, really. I mean, even though there are some things planned.
Yeah.
But, it
was a good conversation starter.
Yeah. And I'm all about icebreaker type questions, regardless of how stupid it is. I have something to contribute
all
to.
about it.
So,
icebreaker questions. Yeah, those are good. When I was in the hotels, we would have, meeting, manager, bonding, whatever stuff.
Events or meetings?
Meetings.
Okay.
We would start our meetings with like a bonding
yes.
thing.
Okay.
And I had bought this ball that was like a ball of questions. So, I throw you a ball and wherever your right thumb lands or whatever, you answer the question. And it's just fun to get to know weird things about people.
Love it.
Like I have this whole other book of questions that I've also brought to places that we should do on one of the episodes where we just flip to a page and ask the question.
That would be a good one.
But I remember growing up and being like, Mom, what would you have done if we got pregnant in high school or like something like that? Mm-hmm. And she just would not play the game. And I was like, come on.
I despise when people don't play the game. Then I'm just like, but Mom is creative. Creative. I just don't know how I got into
I do feel like she has answered that question, but she didn't seem to want to play the game. I don't know. I don't know why we like it. I wonder if Dad likes it.
I think in those situations, though, Matra is so matter of fact. Because she's like, well, it didn't happen, so whatever, but this is what I would do. And it's not like she leans into it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It would be fun to ask Dad the same questions. Like, Dad, what would you have done if one of us got pregnant? Or if the brothers got a girl pregnant?
Mm.
Something like that. Maybe the next family icebreaker.
Those are always
Thanksgiving is coming up. Just kidding, Mom and Dad. We won't do that to you on a holiday.
But we'll drop it sometime.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to this, we're curious on your answers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Matra will probably just send a follow-up. So this is what I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good stopping point for now.
Yes, good old hypothetical questions or just good icebreakers. Let us know. Ask us questions. We would love, actually. We should just do a whole thing of people asking us questions and us answering those.
That actually is a good idea. Let's leave it there.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Well, if you want to hear some future hypothetical questions that we have no idea what they're going to be about yet, give us a like, listen, follow.
Comment, DM.
On Sister Rooy on Instagram and Sister Rooy on Facebook. That's ROOY.
Thanks for hanging.
Okay, bye.
Bye.